can move my project off to the side. And the last big item that we have is the hair, and for some of you it's going to be a really big shape. For those of you that have shorter hair, this shape is going to be kind of small. Just like we did with the shirt and the face and the neck, we're going to grab our Sharpie so we can see our shape better, and we are going to go ahead and outline our hair. And the simpler you make the shape, the easier it's going to be to cut and glue. If you have anything in your hair, a barrette, a hairband, go ahead and just skip it for right now. If there's time in this project, we'll have a day where you can add things that you want to add extra to your picture. But for right now, let's just focus on the shape of our hair. And I'm not going to spend any time going around individual hairs. So on my daughter's picture, I can see parts of my shirt in here, but I'm just going to say it's all hair. I want to keep this very, very simple. Once you're done tracing, you can go ahead and cut it out. Again, hopefully you notice that I'm not worrying about this white. Our printers here at school will not let us print all the way out the page. So everybody has this white. Please don't cut it off. Otherwise, this shape is going to be too small to fit. Before we grab a color for our hair, we're going to bring our project back. We're going to bring our background back, and I'm going to line it up with my shirt on both sides. With my pencil, I'm going to go slow, and I'm going to trace so that everything lines up, and I know exactly where my hair puzzle piece is going to fit. Now, because we know that our background is whatever color you chose, we no longer need the background piece. That can get recycled. I know where my puzzle piece for my hair goes, so I can set this off to the side until I'm ready. And for the hair, again, a couple of options. If you want to, you can just do realistic single hair color. So if you want brown or black or yellow, you can grab that from the cabinet. If you want purple hair, as long as it's a solid color, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Just don't pick a color that you have for your background or a color that you have for your shirt. If you don't want a colored piece of paper, you can go ahead and go back into our bin, and you can grab another piece of painted paper, and you can cut your hair out of that. Again, just a real quick tip, if you have straight edges, make sure you're lining it up with whatever color choice you're picking. And go ahead and use a pencil to trace your shape. Again, until you actually have this cut out and glued down, I would not throw away any of your puzzle pieces, because if you make a mistake, at least you still have the original and you can go ahead and make a new one. Once you have your shape cut out, we want to do the same thing that we did with the face, because putting this on the wrong way, it won't fit. So we need to make sure that we're putting the glue on the right side. So make sure that you are double checking your puzzle piece first. And then again, with your pencil, just a few little X marks to make sure that you know that that's the side that should be up and the other side is getting glued. If your hair is small like our clothes or our face, you can go ahead and just glue the piece. If, however, you have a really large piece like I have, sitting there and trying to glue this and then flip it and try to get it on here without it drying out or without getting glue all over your project, it might be best if you apply glue in small areas and then stick your piece down. And then do a little bit more and then stick your piece down. Okay, really quickly, a few things before you move on to the face. You're probably going to notice that some of your spots, and it happened even on mine, aren't going to line up perfectly. And the reason for that is you're probably noticing that your paper is getting bent and wavy. And when the paper gets bent and wavy, your puzzle pieces are no longer exactly the same because the paper has changed. So don't worry about this. Again, if it's just small amounts, hopefully it's mostly on the outside and not on the inside. Because if it's on the outside like this, we can just go ahead with the paper cutter and I can just trim it up to make it look nice and neat. This is also a really good reason for why I didn't want you using a Sharpie. You can see some of my pencil marks. So I can use my eraser and I can go ahead and I can remove those. And I can go ahead and remove my X's for my do not glue side of my collage. Before we do the face, we're going to go ahead and we're going to learn a little bit more about the illustrator, the person that draws pictures for children's books. And we're going to talk about how she decided to do her facial features, and we're going to do the same thing. The reason why we learn about other artists is so that we know different ways of creating things. If we only knew how to draw noses and eyes and mouths one way, everybody's things would look the same. So this is one of those examples where I'm going to ask you to draw in the style of this particular artist. That way, if it's something that you like, you can use it in other artworks, whether in the art room or in your classroom or at home. And if it's not, at least you tried it and it was a good experience to get you to draw them in a different way that you may not have drawn them before.